You're listening to an Airwave Media Podcast.
Hello, and thanks for joining this special bonus edition of the American Revolution. Normally, my midweek shorts have been about the Revolution 250, events that took place 250 years ago this week. But this week there was almost nothing going on. The British ship Rose raided an island off the coast of Rhode Island and burned a few houses, but I really couldn't find much detail on this minor raid. Down in Virginia, Patriots were occupying Norfolk, finishing the story that I covered last week. In New England, General Washington was still trying to figure out what to do when his army enlistments ended on December 31st, and in Quebec, General Montgomery was worrying about the same thing. Now, I've already covered most of these events, or will cover them shortly, so I was left with little to talk about this week. Since we are only a few weeks from Christmas, I thought this week would be a good time to pass along some book recommendations for gifts. So think of this episode as your Revolutionary War gift guide. Before I get into gift books, I do want to mention that the American Revolution podcast has two different sites where you can order t-shirts or other items. If you go to merch.amrevpodcast.com, there are a variety of t-shirts. Some of them have the American Revolution podcast on them. Others are just American Revolution-themed t-shirts. You can also visit my site at TeePublic, where not only are there t-shirts, but there are also lots of other things like phone cases, socks, hats, mugs, banners, all sorts of things that you can order with American Revolution logos on them. So I will put the links to those two sites in my show notes if you want to check them out. But as I said, this episode is really devoted to recommending gift books. Normally on the American Revolution podcast, I give a weekly book recommendation that focuses on a specific battle or event that's relevant to that week's episode. The recommendations I'm making today are different. The books I will recommend today are for people who are not obsessed with the minutiae of the American Revolution. Perhaps they just want a general overview or want something nice for the coffee table as we move into the 250th anniversary. Perhaps the most popular book of this genre this year is The American Revolution, An Intimate History by Geoffrey Ward and Ken Burns. This is the companion book to the Ken Burns documentary on the American Revolution. For those who have watched the show and want to learn a little more, this book has lots of pictures, essays by expert historians, lots of topics that can be read in little snippets for the casual reader. It is larger than your average book, about the size of a standard notebook paper. It's also rather lengthy at over 600 pages. Its retail price is $80, but you can easily find it for half that price already. A similar book in this category is The American Revolution, A Visual History. This was published by the Smithsonian back in 2016. Again, this is a casual book for readers who like to browse and who enjoy lots of pictures and maps. The imagery in this book is wonderful. They have lots of famous paintings. The book is also larger than the average book, about the same height and width as the Ken Burns book, except this one is only 400 pages long instead of 600 pages. The retail price of this book is $45, but you can easily find new copies for $25. A third option is America Victorious by Tom Hand. This is a new 2025 release. It also comes in a format with lots of pictures and maps. It also has short segments that make it easier for the casual reader to read a short story here and there for someone not inclined to sit down and read hundreds of pages. I really like the mini biographies of various figures who are not well known to most people. These mini bios are less than one page and just give you a quick overview of people's lives. Now, you may have heard ads for this book on my podcast. The author was kind enough to buy some airtime, but I really do like this book as a Christmas gift. It also comes in a beautiful decorative box that makes it great for display. Also, book proceeds go to Preserving America programs, which helps support the preservation of historical property, particularly from the American Revolution. Now, one way to make this book particularly special is to buy an autographed copy directly from the author. If you go to his website, americanacorner.com, you will see the book already for sale at a discount. You can get an additional 15% discount by using the promo code REVOLUTION. Although this author, as I said, did buy advertising on the show, my endorsement here is my own recommendation. I just think getting a personally autographed book is a great option for a gift. If you are looking for a set of books, I really wish I could recommend the Rick Atkinson trilogy, but it's not yet complete. His first two books, The British Are Coming and The Fate of the Day, are available, but the third book has not yet been released, so the first two books only get you through 1780. This might be a good option if you want to buy the set over the next 3 Christmases for someone who might enjoy it. You could buy Volume 1 this year, Volume 2 the next, and Volume 3 should be available by the time you're ready to buy it. If you're looking for a generalized book on the Revolution that's in a single volume, The American Revolution, A History by Gordon Wood is a classic, although it is now 20 years old. Even so, it covers the story of the war in a concise way of about 200 pages. If you're looking for something that's a little more hefty, the book Our Glorious Cause by Robert Middlecoff is a good option. This is part of the Oxford History of the United States. The book itself is over 700 pages, but does a good job covering the entire era from the first pre-war protests through the implementation of the Constitution. This book is also 20 years old, but it does hold up well. So if you're looking for a great gift for someone who wants to learn more about the American Revolution, but is not willing to go into the detail that the listeners of this podcast are, these are some great holiday choices. I've included links to all of these books in my show notes and on my blog. The links go back to Amazon, except for the link for America Victorious, which also includes the link to the author's website, so you can get that signed and discounted copy. I really would appreciate it if you use the Amazon links in my show notes. If you do decide to order on Amazon, I get a commission based on whatever you buy when you go to Amazon from my link. Be sure to do all your holiday shopping from that link in order to help support this podcast. I hope you find these gift ideas helpful. I wish everyone a wonderful holiday season, and we will return to our regular format next week on the American Revolution podcast.